was this moment for me when there were no more excuses. There was nowhere to hide, and I had to turn my professional life towards the environmental crisis. And I believe that moment was when my teenage daughter looked at me in our kitchen and told me that my generation had screwed up the world and that we parents shouldn't expect her generation to fix things. First of all, it came as a total surprise that I was indeed a grown-up, and that in my growing up, I had totally missed the boat on fixing the world. So very soon after this, I had the very fortunate opportunity to start a business that has a chance to flip how we think about green building in America. And I saw my chance to do something totally gonzo and walk away from the paycheck and accept my daughter's challenge. When I graduated from college, there seemed to be two options. It was go to work and do good things and make very little money at a nonprofit, or sell out and go corporate. Thankfully, today we are in the midst of a movement and a revolution around social ventures, that companies now can be mission-based with a mandate to do good for the environment and take on social issues as well as turn a profit. So that turns me to the theme for tonight, which is profit. And I'm going to spend my time talking about what matters and what should be measured. And for the company I co-founded that makes beautiful, fast, outrageously sustainable homes possible, we count and value based on our mission. We certainly count gains in terms of sales and impact, but we are decidedly measuring gains in more critical ways, such as protecting the environment and creating homes. So when we look at our CO2 emissions annually, 23% of the carbon emissions come from transportation, 40% come from buildings, and of that 40%, 28% of the emissions come from the heating, cooling, and running of the buildings we live and work in. 11 of those 40% is the carbon impact of the materials we choose to build with, from the harvesting of raw materials to the processing and through to construction. If we continue to build in the U.S. with those high carbon culprits of concrete, steel, and aluminum, while we try to manage and address the deep housing need in the U.S., we may actually solve some of the housing issues, but the carbon impact and the impact to the environment will be irreversible. So I totally get where my daughter is coming from. She and her friends see that our decision making is flat, it's lazy, it's unimaginative, and truly broken. And this is where we need complexity and systems thinking. The ridiculous thing is that we know better. We have the science, we have the solutions, but sometimes it hurts profits to do the right thing. So social ventures like our own are here to prove that doing the right thing makes better sense. It's a more stable investment, it's more resilient for the economy, and certainly for the environment, and it's healthier for all of us. First, we understand that the greatest positive environmental impacts come through conservation. We at Be Public plan for long-term performance from the start in everything that we do. Conservation first guides our product development and design as the core principle. We know that it will always be cheaper to require less energy than to produce energy. And I love the analogy of the paper cup versus the insulated thermos. Indeed, the paper cup is cheaper in the moment, but your coffee goes cold and you have to replace it, and it's just plain wasteful, and on, versus an insulated bottle that is incredibly efficient at maintaining cold or hot with zero energy added, just like our buildings. For instance, a high-performance home will only lose a couple of degrees overnight in winter without the heat on. Most of the buildings built to the standard only need a heating system about the size of a hairdryer. Second, we build with renewables, safe and recycled materials. Our prefab panels are over 90% sustainable wood. Our insulation is 86% recycled newspaper and outperforms fiberglass for protection as well as soundproofing. And third, we build in our workshops. By building inside, off-site construction saves up to 90% of building waste. Prefab is a measured approach to materials. So let's get rid of those ever-present dumpsters at construction sites and let the materials be considered in the equation of profit. And finally, our buildings simply require 80 to 90% less energy to run. And this conservation does not come as a sacrifice to the occupants. Actually, it's the opposite. These homes are noticeably more comfortable, they're quiet, highly dependable. So in preparation for this talk, I made an informal survey of my friends, family, and colleagues online of what they value today more than profit. And the response was clear. We all care about our health. We care about our families, our homes, our community, and the environment, not to mention our sanity, peace, and wisdom. These are the gains that we seek to support at Be Public. Thank you so much for having me. I am Edie Dillman. I am the CEO and co-founder of Be Public Prefab,